showtime!
Showtime. We are
Yo,
CFM Radio.
Yes. Welcome back to another Thursday edition.
Thursday edition, CFM Radio. Drix. I think we are joined tonight by a very special guest.
So special. So excited.
Mr. Patrick Hickey Jr. Patrick, would you care to introduce yourself, sir?
Absolutely, I would. My name is Patrick Hickey Jr. I am the editor-in-chief of ReviewFix.com, the owner, toilet scrubber, IT specialist, customer care associate of LegacyComics.com. I am also a 7-time published video game journalist, author in over 2,000 libraries worldwide, Harvard, Yale, Stanford, UCLA, Berkeley, and I am a voice actor, and I married a pretty hot Italian woman. So, yeah, that's me.
Beautiful.
We love Patrick Hickey Jr. here on the show. Big fan, friend of the show. Thank you very much for coming on with us tonight, Patrick.
No problem.
And that's awesome. So, Patrick, tell us all about Legacy Comics. What's going on over there? We hear there's a lot of releases coming out.
Yeah, we've got a lot of releases coming out this fall. We've actually got 4 books coming out for Halloween. All horror, Halloween, scary stuff. Going to be a lot of fun. But we also have the impending release of The Job 2 in about 3 weeks to a month. If you guys haven't read The Job, it's about the world's worst pro wrestler. Dan Dero loses every match, but he's got a hot wife and he's got a hot car, and everyone wonders how. And the answer is simple. Him and his wife rob banks together. So if you like Mickey Rourke's The Wrestler, and you like Two Broke Girls, and you like movies like Point Break and Heat, you'll absolutely love The Job. So, yeah, that's kind of like what we've been up to lately.
And it's a beautiful series. Great. The inspiration really shines through. I guarantee if you pick up the first issue of The Job, you will be hooked. And don't forget to check out all their Legacy Comics other great books. Condry, Brooklyn Bleeds. There are so many great reads over there. And Patrick, give a shout out to your awesome series of game dev books.
Yeah, man. So I've written 7 books on video game history called The Minds Behind the Games. Basically what I do is I sit down with developers like VH1 Behind the Music, ESPN 30 for 30 style, and I just tell them, like, take me through the entire development process. And it's real, it's unfiltered, it's not fueled by my opinion. There are like way too many video game books out there now that are just like all about the author's opinion or them trying to express a point. And for me, it's just I just let the developers go. I press record on the tape recorder, and then when it's all finished, I put it together, write it up, and created some really fun stories. Like pretty much any game that you've played over the past like 30 years, there's some kind of like Kevin Bacon connected to it. You know, it's like, oh, if you're like, oh, well, is this game in there? And I'm like, no, but the developer of that game actually did this, and this, and I got him in here for that. And you'll go, oh, okay. So lots of really cool stuff. Over 200 games featured across the 7 books. Just a lot of fun. So.
Another beautiful read. I've only cracked the first one, but my God, there's so many like eye-grabbing, attention thieving stories in these books. Man, great books, great reads from Patrick Hickey Jr. But fellas, I think it's time that we get into the news. We were just talking comics, so I think we should talk about the next game featuring everyone's favorite web slinger. Entertainment Weekly sat down with Insomniac Studios' creative brains behind the project, Brian Inethar, John Packett, and Jacinda Chu, to bring us an exclusive first look at their portrayal of Venom. The headline reads, "Smile for Venom, Marvel's Spider-Man 2 team previews their spin on a classic villain." From the article, while looking to cast the Venom role in the highly anticipated sequel, which brings Peter Parker, voiced by Yuri Lowenthal, Miles Morales, Najee Jeter, together with Mary Jane Watson, Laura Bailey, Inethar heard a few lines of Tony Todd's deep, growling voice in the trailer of 2021's Candyman. It just so happened that Todd had also submitted an audition tape for Marvel Spider-Man 2.
Ooh.
So I think we're gonna hear some pretty scary stuff from Venom in this game.
Nice.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Venom's that deep husky growl, I mean, that's like, it goes hand in hand with the experience. If you guys have seen the trailer already, like, Venom is on full ass-kicking display. Like, it's going to be fantastic.
Hell yeah. This is directly from them. Everything we talked about with Venom, that sense of strength, that sense of fear, that sense of overwhelming so different from Peter. Tony embraces that completely in the performance, Inathar says. Entertainment Weekly also has a couple of first looks if you want to take a look at that villain, iconic anti-hero. You go there on their website, entertainmentweekly.com. Pat, is there a comic book antagonist that you draw inspiration from in your creative works? Is that character a favorite of yours, or do you just really like what they bring to the table as a villain?
I love Venom. Venom's one of my favorite characters of all time. I love what Venom did to Marvel. I mean, without Venom, you also probably don't have Image Comics either, and I don't want to live in a comic book world that doesn't have Image Comics in it, because then you wouldn't have The Walking Dead, you wouldn't have so many other amazing things.
Very
you wouldn't
iconic.
have Spawn. I love Venom. I don't know, I don't think I draw an inspiration from him. I've been a college professor for 17 years. I've taught English composition and journalism, so it's just like, I think I'm a little bit more well-read than the average comic book writer, but like film also play a huge impact on my inspiration. The horror stuff that we have coming out, I mean, I must have watched like Terrifier like 10 times, and I was like, we need to do some comic book stuff like this. So I pretty much take inspiration from as many different forms of media as possible. But yeah, Venom is absolutely positively badass. I'm not sure if you guys know, but like, do you guys know that like Venom was originally supposed to be a female?
Ooh.
I had heard about that.
No idea.
And I heard that's why they eventually did separation anxiety, to kind of fulfill that wish.
Oh, way before separation anxiety. So it's like so what was happening was there was somebody that was messing with Peter Parker that it wasn't, his spider sense wasn't being affected by it, and he's like on a train. This is like a Spectacular Spider-Man from like the mid 80s. This is like a good like 2 or 3 years before Eddie Brock comes out. Yeah, because they had the story written. They were just trying to find a way to like bring it all together. And yeah, it's a woman. It's a female character. They later like ditched it and stuff. But could you imagine if Venom was a woman? I mean, I don't know. And that's the thing too. Like that goes into my creative process. I'm a geek. I'm a history geek. So.
Yeah. No, absolutely. Yeah. So what's interesting? So I'm a big fan of Bio Booster Armor Guyver. I don't know if you've heard of it. It's a crazy anime manga from the 90s. There was a movie adaptation over here. I think Mark Hamill was the Guyver, and
nice.
It's a crazy series, but the same kind of process happened in that, where the original Agito Makishima Guyver was supposed to be a woman who was like a secret agent woman, and he that character of Agito Makishima eventually became a sort of like in the same beats as the woman, but she came to fruition as her own character far later, and actually in an OVA, Guyver Out of Control, the Guyver character in that anime OVA was a woman. So it's interesting to hear those creative parallels in East and West right there, and almost the same media, because Guyver is also like, it's an alien symbiote entity, but like it's totally a front for like the government and how they transform other beings using that kind of technology. Wild show if you haven't checked it out. Like,
I'm gonna check it out now.
Definitely.
You just sold the hell out of it. I love it.
It's one of my favorites.
In other Venom news, there's a lot of hype right now about members of what's called the Stern Army, because I'm a pinball guy. They're actually about to put out a Venom pinball game, and
it's so pretty.
Speaking of Venom being a woman, one of the mechanics is you have to pick who your symbiote inhabits. And there's like Peter Parker, Eddie Brock, and Gwen Stacy, I think.
Oh, wild.
Is one of the options. And depending on which character you pick in the pinball game, that's like the shots you have to make and how you build your score up. But yeah, I'm riding that Stern pinball, Venom pinball hype train a little bit right now. I wonder if they're going to get it at my local brewery.
That would be awesome. But you know what, fellas, I think it's about time to kick off some music. Drix, what are we going to jump into right now?
Hey, speaking of comics over here, we're listening to episode 1, page 1 of 1 from Comics Zone.
Comics Zone, CFM Radio, we are live.
Is dead and we want to celebrate it. He's pushing up daisies and form rambulated. Bad guy asks why we're related. Well, Clog is dead. Follow the bouncing skull.
Yes, Clog's kaput. No longer operating. Retired, expired. History is deceased.
He's got such a brush do a pelvic thrust.
Clog is dead.
He was dirty and obscene and not a little mean. So we'll sing in one accord.
Now that he's gone to his reward.
Clog is dead, he's history.
Why we shake our booties, no mystery. He's gone at last. Time has passed. We can go back to passing gas.
Yeah, Clog is dead.
Dynamite rain.
Come on, everybody. I'm here on the sweet. Yes, I'm cooking for my son and his wife. It's his 30th birthday. Put eggs into my bowl at the milk of 2 months ago. It's more than mom, isn't it? I don't give a flying fuck isn't it? XO sugar, XO salt, XO oil, MSG, XO sugar, XO salt, XO oil, MSG, shut up, it's very sweet.
CFM Radio, we are live.
Yo, yo.
All right, guys. Have you guys been playing anything fun recently? Anything? Anything at all?
I just bought rebought an Xbox 360, so I've been reconnecting with
hell
a
yeah.
lot of fun games. Introduced my daughter to the X-Men arcade, and running around Fallout 3 with basically no one inhabiting the entire wasteland because I've killed them all. So that's basically been my last couple of days. Yeah.
Hell yeah, the
play.
classics, Pat.
Mm-hmm.
The modern classics, Xbox 360. What about you, Drix? You been playing anything?
Dreamcast classics, actually, because
Oh,
I
hell
got
yeah.
the bundle. I'm actually getting the hang of Nights into Dreams, and I find it very relaxing and pretty to watch on my PC in 60 frames per second. You might be seeing some of that B-roll. But yeah, that Jet Set Radio, Sega Bass Fishing, the whole bundle that you can get on Steam is one of my favorites. And a little bit of a new unreleased title called Arcadian Atlas. That's very reminiscent of Final Fantasy Tactics or Tactics Ogre. And yeah, we'll have a review coming up of that one pretty soon. But yeah, I'm just dipped my toes into it last night, and I'm liking it so far.
Well, we'll definitely have a review of Arcadian Atlas here next week on CFM Radio. Guys, I am still... Fellas, I'll tell you what, I hit Platinum in Street Fighter 6 ranked. I am 35 hours deep into Final Fantasy 16. I just can't stop, guys. I can't stop.
Don't stop.
I will not, because tomorrow, July 21st, sees the release of Pikmin 4 exclusively on the Switch. I'm a huge Pikmin fan. I have literally... Splatoon has a trilogy in the time between Pikmin 3 and 4. It's been a decade. I am a huge Pikmin fan. I cannot wait. And Pikmin 4 brings in all of your old favorites, such as blue, red, purple, and rock, along with the new types in the form of ice and glow Pikmin. There's also Ochi, and I gotta tell you guys, he's the most adorable interpretation of an armored personnel carrier I've ever seen in a video game. And next Tuesday, this is another sleeper hit. Another sleeper favorite of mine was Remnant in 2019, and next Tuesday, 25th, sees the release of Remnant 2. It's the follow-up to the 2019 Souls-like shooter Remnant from Ashes, and Remnant 2 expands and improves on the previous entry in every way, from worlds to weapons to playable classes. Everything you love from the first game is back, and it's better than ever. And guys, both of these games, they're solid 9s with stellar Metacritic scores. Solid 9s from IGN. So, this good times keep rolling on for us gamers.
Yup.
But here's the deal. Pat, I understand you've been doing some voice work for an upcoming game. What can you tell us about it? And when can we play it?
I was just going to say, guys, you guys are talking about Remnant and Pikmin and this one and that one, and I'm just like, WrestleQuest is coming out on August 8th on everything, including Netflix. So if you grew up playing games like Super Mario RPG, Pokemon, Dragon Quest, and you grew up watching professional wrestling, you are absolutely positively going to adore WrestleQuest. WrestleQuest takes 30 licensed professional wrestling legends: Jeff Jarrett, Sergeant Slaughter, the Legion of Doom, Jake the Snake Roberts, Diamond Dallas Page, the Junkyard Dog, the Macho Man Randy Savage, ooh yeah, and puts them in this 50-plus hour Japanese RPG that is clearly an homage to anyone that has ever loved like the behind the scenes stories of pro wrestling. It's a ton of fun. I voice over 90 characters in the game.
90
Um,
characters.
Oh, new record.
Yes. I've been on the dev team for about 3 years. The game's been in development for close to 5. So I mean, I remember the original sprites and what they look like and what they look like now, and it's just been it's been wild. I mean, the team has taken me to PAX East twice for panels and PAX West
Nice.
once, and I went to Tennessee for Ric Flair's last match. I mean, these guys have literally taken me all over the country to promote this game, and it's absolutely going to be like the game of the summer. People are gonna go, yeah, it looks like Mario RPG. It looks kind of fun, and then they jump in and they start experiencing the story and experiencing the characters, and they're going to be completely blown away with how awesome WrestleQuest is.
Yeah,
Man,
I've been excited for a while about this.
Yeah,
I've been
same.
seeing the posts online. I have a buddy that got like me and my girlfriend into wrestling, so we watch AEW and still want to play that game. But yeah, WrestleQuest seems like a really cool take on the whole.
yeah,
theme.
man. Like
The cool heroes you want to follow, you know.
seriously, in a JRPG style. Yo, all right, Pat. So, can you say anything about how long the game is? You got my JRPG brain moving. JRPGs are
It's,
long. Is it long?
It's over 50 hours.
Ooh.
And I will say, like, Zach Manco, the creative lead at Megacat Studios, I have a ton of respect for him as a game developer. As a writer, he's featured in a couple of my books. Super talented. A lot of people don't know who he is because Megacat's, like, still, growing their roots into the video game industry. But, like, I will go out on a limb and say he's, like, one of the top writers in video games today. The script for this game is, like, over 200,000 words. So...
Ooh.
yeah.
What?
It's a beefy RPG experience, to say the least.
Does he have any previous work that we would recognize?
So I'm pretty sure he's writing the Renfield game that's currently like on Steam.
Ooh.
That's
Renfield
being
game.
the Renfield game that's based on the movie. He did Coffee Crisis, that came out a couple of years ago on like Switch and Xbox and PlayStation 4. But this is his big like coming out party. Like people are gonna like experience this game and be like, who wrote this? And then it's gonna be a couple of Google searches, and then Zach is not going to be able to leave his house. So
That is so cool. That is so amazing. I can't. You know what? It's on Netflix. No one has any excuse to not play this game. You have to play this game.
Yeah.
Like everyone can play this game. It's on Netflix. Like what are we playing on a remote? It doesn't matter. It's turn based. Like sounds great.
Wow, I didn't even put that together.
So it's gonna be great. Everybody's got to check out WrestleQuest. When's it hitting? When's it hitting online everywhere?
August 8th everywhere. Yep.
Wow, that sounds so awesome. Hey, you know what? That's a great time to move on to some music, Drix. What are we listening to?
We are listening to California Games on the NES, and this is Gating. in honor of the,
California Games.
Yeah, X Games this weekend. Who, yeah.
Oh, nice. California Games. CFM Radio. We are live.
heroic as a tiger is. Earn my stripes cause you know I'm do or die with this. Journey started young, super hard-headed. Call me crazy, but you is not my psychiatrist. Been through a lifetime of strifing and struggling. Be the best, that's my covenant. And I'ma live forever, that's my legacy. Greatest of all time, that's what they gon' label me. Put in work, I did my part. They like, keep on going cause you got hard. They know that I'm non-stop, I keep on pushing forward. Highly motivated, they try to say I'm overrated. If you from where I'm from, you not supposed to make it. The opportunities arise, so I gotta take it. Too many people in my corner, so I gotta make it. I'm in it for the love of winning, spot of all the hatred. They gon' say what they gon' say regardless. Not afraid to fail, I try my hardest. Power up, the time is now, I got this. I'm on fire like the darkness. I've been a failure, I've been a success. I'm like a diamond, I shine under pressure. But life's been trying me, I learned all my lessons. I realize I gotta kill all my blessings. I'm working hard every day to be a better man. If practice makes perfect, then I'm already a veteran. I suffer from defeat, so success is my medicine. Destined for greatness, so you know that I'm back again. Back on my feet after I fell down. Always ready for a fight, never back down. At this point, I'm fighting for pride, I'm fighting for life. Reputation on the line, so I'm fighting for mine. You ain't gotta really like me, but you must respect me. I'm saying, if they ever try to check me, I ain't gon' let them wreck me. The pain remains. Gotta remind myself where I came from and represent. The struggle made the realest man you ever met. Isn't it evident? Ain't stopped before, not planning on stopping now. I'm tired of playing the sidelines. Gotta make my own highlights. It's time to heat up for the fight of my life. Show 'em what I got, cause you know that it's my time. Brought till I fall, boy. Give it my all, boy. Got me feeling like I can fight them all, boy. The time has come, the bell is rung. No weekends here, you know that I'm a star, boy. My blood, sweat, and tears. I've been struggling for years. I'm saying I'm one of a kind and they ain't built them like me. Vision myself a champion, one day I might be. Proud of what I see from the man in the mirror. A real freedom fighter, got a problem, what's the deal? Everybody know that I always keep it real. I fall down, I get up, I keep pushing still. They recognize I'm a champion. I did it all, even what they say can't be done. I wear my stripes proud, I raise my flag high, and I'ma stay free till the day I die. Survivalist, heroic as a tiger is. Earn my stripes cause you know I'm do or die with this. Journey started young, super hard-headed. Call me crazy, but you is not my psychiatrist. Been through a lifetime of strifing and struggling. Be the best, that's my covenant. And I'ma live forever, that's my legacy. Greatest of all time, that's what they gon' label me. Put in work, I did my part. They like, keep on going cause you got hard. They know that I'm non-stop, I keep on pushing forward. Highly motivated, they try to say I'm overrated. If you from where I'm from, you not supposed to make it. The opportunities arise, so I gotta take it. Too many people in my corner, so I gotta make it. I'm in it for the love of winning, spot of all the hatred. They gon' say what they gon' say regardless. Not afraid to fail, I try my hardest. Power up, the time is now, I got this. I'm on fire like the darkness.
You know you have to survive.
CFM Radio, we are live. Here with
We
Patrick Hickey
are-
Jr.
Go. Yes.
What's up, guys? I'm Patrick Hickey Jr.
And you are now listening to CFM Radio. Oh, yeah.
CFM Radio, we are live.
Such talent. Man, blessed to have him.
Just a little bit of what you're going to be hearing in a game like WrestleQuest, and be sure to check out his other amazing voiceover working games, such as The Padre. On where can you pick up The Padre and its sequel, Pat?
The Padre is available on PlayStation 4, on Xbox One, on Nintendo Switch. The sequel, One Shell Straight to Hell, which I think is a far better game, is only available on Steam, but that's probably a story for Minds Behind the Games at one point. So, but yeah.
Beautiful
Sounds
book series.
great.
Mine's behind the games too.
Absolutely. And you know what? There's a ton of them with amazing stories.
Such a labor of love.
And you know,
Thank
speaking
you, sir.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, you know what? You're the man who, thank you. You're the guy who's bringing us these amazing stories. But we have a story for you guys. And we all know about Activision's Blizzard. You know, they got taken over by Microsoft. Microsoft beat the FTC in court with a rusty paper bat. You know, it was pretty bad. But is the Xbox series of consoles up to snuff for current developers? From Gaming
Valid
Bolt,
question.
the headline is Xbox Series S is a, quote, nice option for customers, but can be a, quote, bottleneck for devs. It's from Trine 5 developer. From the article, in a recent interview with Gaming Bolt, when asked about the Xbox Series X or S and whether its hardware will be able to keep pace with its peers as the generation goes on, Frozen Byte marketing manager Kai, I might burst this, Tuovinen said that while the console is certainly a great option for those looking to purchase cheaper hardware from a developer's perspective, however, it can potentially become a bottleneck, especially for the more technically demanding games. You know, they follow up on a point that we made a couple weeks back about Baldur's Gate 3 and developer Larian, their complaints about consoles in general. They said when they were asked about why is it only coming to PS5 as opposed to Xbox, you know, Larian came back and said we have a build for Xbox. It's just tough developing for the Xbox family of consoles right now. Gaming Bolt also highlights a comment from developer Techland in a link in their article. You know, I think we all know, we're all familiar, we've all been around gaming long enough to know that ports for different consoles and different variable hardware specs are, to get the same experience on all of them, super challenging job. But the Xbox is interesting to hear because for all intents and purposes, and I think pretty sure Phil Spencer himself was saying, touting how powerful the Xbox Series X is and how great the Xbox Series S is. You know, if that power gap is that big, that might cause some problems for developers especially after an acquisition like Activision Blizzard. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I've definitely noticed Diablo 4 and Street Fighter 6 not looking as good as they could on my PS4 compared to my PS5. I mean, my PS5 that I have yet to acquire. But yeah, it's time to upgrade. It's time to get on the better, faster, new and improved hardware. It seems the new generation is upon us.
Yeah, man, absolutely. It's just like it's one of those things where they were really able to squeeze the blood from the stone of the Xbox S for quite some time. So yeah, man, it's time to move on. We're in such a different era of gaming now, because I mean, if you think about it, like 1994, you have like the PlayStation 1 beginning to make its debut, and Nintendo is still releasing NES games, and the Sega Genesis is still chugging, and the Super Nintendo is still chugging. Those days of things like that going on are over, and things like this what are going on now, it just makes it crystal clear.
Yeah, maybe a gaming laptop.
You make a really
is
good
just
point.
enough.
I always, so here's the thing. From all our reporting and accounts, diving into the court documents ourselves on previous casts of CFM radio from the Microsoft versus FTC trial, my Xbox mostly wants to move to the Game Pass and the cloud. That seems to be something that everyone in the industry wants to embrace. And this is looking like one of those hurdles of making a multi-tiered console, or as a developer attempting to develop for some sort of multi-tiered experience of variable quality. Are you guys looking forward to cloud gaming at all? Has anyone tried cloud gaming?
I don't ever want a cloud game in my entire life. Like, I am a physical media guy. Like, if the fact that I even have to install games irritates me. The fact that I can't play certain games unless I'm connected to Xbox Live annoys me. Yeah, man. So but you know what? I'm gonna have to embrace it. I sound like a boomer right now, but that's
hey, you know what, Pat? Here on CFM Radio, we super encourage the purchasing of physical media in your games. I say this as a powerful example all the time. Look at Final Fantasy 16. You can play that whole game right off the disc, front to back.
Nice.
No ifs, ands, or buts, no downloads. There have been patches since the game has come out, but if you're like you, Pat, and you don't want to deal with the online things, you could buy a game like Final Fantasy 16 and just play it, the whole game, and you and I can talk about it as if we, it doesn't matter. My patches be damned, right? It doesn't matter. Mm-hmm. So I think that's going to be something that gamers and developers really should embrace. I understand that these game sizes, you look at Call of Duty, the game's 100 gigs. It takes my whole goddamn hard drive to play Call of Duty. And I'm like, I don't know about this, fellas. I think this the streamlining and the embracing of both, patches when you need it and patches for obviously additional content and other features added on to the basic experience. But I honestly believe, especially if Final Fantasy can do it, Squaresoft can do it, or Square Enix, I should say, can do it. They can make a full numbered Final Fantasy game front to back that I could just put in my PS5 on the disc and just go for it. I think more developers should be doing that. I mean, I don't have a problem running any Nintendo games on my Switch either, right? I put the card in, it just goes.
Huh. There's something to be said. There's people that are still doing it and purchasing it, and I too, whatever generation I'm in, I'm definitely not trying to jump on board the streaming wagon just yet. I mean, just look at what it's done to, say, TV and movies and music, and what it's going to do. I guess it's just going to be that much harder once it's all consolidated into one place for the people that actually make these awesome things to make a dime off of these awesome things.
Gosh, but you know what? Let's not end it on a sour note. Pat, what is your favorite console of all time? And do you have a PS5 or an Xbox or both or a Switch?
Yeah, I have a Switch, I have an Xbox, I have a PlayStation. I don't discriminate. I am a lover of the video game medium. I probably own about 4,000 physical games. I would say my favorite console of all time, if I had to pick one, I would probably say the original PlayStation. If I had to pick three, It would be PlayStation, PlayStation 2, and Xbox 360. I just feel like those three consoles, for me, were the foundation of why I loved games so much. I grew up on the NES and the Super NES and the Sega Genesis and stuff, but the PlayStation, the PlayStation 2, the Xbox 360, those were the systems that I was an active consumer. That was when the internet was getting really sexy, and I was, reading previews beforehand and, going on, GameSpot super early, the late 90s and stuff.
Yes.
And so, so if I had to pick one, console, probably PS1 or PS2. So, yeah.
Those are
good libraries.
Yeah, great libraries. Generation-defining consoles. Great picks, Pat. Great picks.
Thank you.
Hey, you know what? They're amazing consoles. So many classics on both of those. You know, one of my favorite PS2 games, Way of the Samurai, incredible game, love it. One of my favorite Xbox 360 games. Not a lot of people, not very well known, and you kind of difficult to buy. Lost Odyssey, love that game.
Yeah.
You know,
Absolutely, I own it. I love it.
oh, you're lucky. You're lucky you own one of those physical editions and copies of those
Yes,
games. But anyway, let's jump into some more music. Drix, what are we listening to?
We are listening to the theme song from Toe Jam and Earl.
And it is a classic theme song from Toe Jam and Earl. CFM Radio, we are live with Patrick Hickey Jr.
You.
bullshit blazing, still my heart is blazing. If the word kill me, I don't need a new word under you. Soon you will know, we already know the smell of the game. Do you know who you are when you think your words don't sound like your own? You're trapped in the toxic created by this world. That is who you are. No standards will say kindness must be kept from time to wake up. Providing keeps us on the ground. That is bullshit blazing, still my heart is blazing. If I lose my wings, I don't need a new word under you. Can't feel a thing, we already know the smell of the game. Remember you are blazing, still your heart is blazing. If the world made you, I don't need a new word under you. Soon you will know, we already know the smell of the game.
Mankind knew that they cannot change society. So instead of reflecting on themselves, they blamed the beasts. But they found beauty in the lives of beasts and couldn't lie to themselves about it.
And this is not part of the world. But no one can break me. Can't you see I'm blazing? Still my heart is blazing. If the words kill me, I don't need a new word over you. My tongue is my word. Your words will never let me disobey. That is bullshit blazing. Still my heart is blazing. If the words kill me, I don't need a new word over you. Soon you will know. We already know the smell of the, know the smell of the, know the smell of the, know the smell of the game.
CFM Radio, and we are live.
We live, baby.
Thursday
We live.
edition. Here with Pat, Minds Behind the Games, Legacy Comics,
Yeah.
Patrick Hickey Jr. How are you, Pat?
I'm doing good, man. It's 11 o'clock. I should be sound asleep at this point, but I am good. No coffee. I am solid. I'm special.
Well, let's go. Let's go. Let's waste no time. Get rolling, because yesterday, the 19th, big day for Activision Blizzard. Q2 earnings document hit the net for all the public to see, and things look admittedly great. for the Call of Duty and Diablo 4 publisher, with CEO Bobby Kotick delivering glowing remarks in his opening statement. Quote, "We delivered a 50% year-over-year increase in net bookings, operating income growth over 70%, earnings per share growth over 80%, and a record quarter for Blizzard with over $1 billion in net bookings for the first time." Woo! Guys, Blizzard's making money.
Yeah. Diablo 4, and they're doing it.
Diablo 4. Hey, who can resist, right? Everybody loves Diablo.
Nope. couldn't
Absolutely.
resist. Even at the $70 price point. for
Even
PS4.
even for $70, reading further, we see that part of that growth is driven by the continued engagement with the Call of Duty franchise in the first set of business highlights. Call of Duty approaches its 20-year anniversary in October with around 90 million monthly players, with over half of all engagement on the mobile platform. Activision's teams are hard at work on major installments in the franchise slated for the fourth quarter. Development of this year's full annual premium release on PC and console is proceeding well. And Warzone Mobile, an ambitious and internally developed mobile game tightly integrated with the PC and console experience, continues to progress through regional testing. If you could be playing Warzone Mobile right now, you probably are. Blizzard is also no slouch when talking growth, with Diablo 4 being the talk of the Blizzard portion of the highlights. The first bullet point in the Blizzard section reads, quote, "In the second quarter, Blizzard segment revenue grew over 160% year over year, and operating income more than tripled year over year, each setting new quarterly records driven by the launch of Diablo 4. Diablo 4, absolutely killing it. They addressed Overwatch 2, the current lackluster community reception. They said while the engagement and player investment in Overwatch 2 declined sequentially in the quarter, the Overwatch development team is looking forward to August 10th with the release of Overwatch 2 Invasion. This will be the largest seasonal update yet, to include PvE, story missions, a new game mode, and a new hero progression system, as well as a new hero. This goes right along with plans for additional World of Warcraft and Diablo 4 content updates. Guys, do you guys like Blizzard?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, I've been playing Diablo since the first one. I've got friends on the Overwatch team, so it's like, yeah, man, it's they're doing it.
They definitely are doing it.
I'm a bigger fan lately than I was previously, anyway. Yeah, they haven't done anything for me particularly in a while, but yeah, they're definitely on my radar again. Since I wasn't a big
man.
World of Warcraft guy, I kind of picked up and put down both Overwatch games. I was enjoying playing Overwatch 2 with my friends. Our buddy Johnny Deals, who was on the show, he's been playing competitively pretty good on his stream over there. But yeah, they're doing all right. And I mean, before the release of Diablo 4 sounds like a good time to have gotten some of their stock or whatever.
Seriously, right? That was the dip, right? Hey, you know what? I'm in the same boat. I was a big. I played World of Warcraft through. I was a big Overwatch player, but I really didn't like what the direction of the game was going from a competitive standpoint for a while there. So I switched back to World of Warcraft. Kind of fell out of love with that. Just the MMO grind, right? Everything going on like that. Blizzard didn't really have a lot to offer me. I keep seeing Diablo 4. Every one of my friends keeps wanting to play it. I might pick it up next time it goes on sale, but right now I got so many games, guys. I'm just gaming my head off.
Yeah, you're gonna be Pikmin 4 tomorrow.
Yeah, and that's gonna be awesome. But Pat, I know this might be a loaded question for you as the author and brain behind the minds behind the game's book series, but I gotta ask you, who's your favorite game developer, and what game made you fall in love with that style of their style of game development?
It's so hard because we can almost go like on a genre by genre basis, because it's like if we're talking sports, obviously like early Electronic Arts, like 1987 to like 1995, like those guys made the sports gaming industry what it is today. Those were the guys that wanted to do yearly sports games when everyone else told them that they were crazy. I've interviewed a ton of those guys. I adore them. I mean, then we go into RPGs and like obviously SquareSoft, not Square Enix, but like SquareSoft. Oh my God, like
Squaresoft.
it just felt like from like 1991 to like 2000, it was just banger after banger after banger, and then it was just like even when they would take risks and release games that like weren't traditional RPGs, like Threads of Fate, you would have like this amazing game that like
Man, yeah.
10 people played, but it was still amazing. Like even their B or
Vagrant
C
Story.
games, Vagrant Story, yeah, man. Like whenever they took risks, they did great things. I mean, then you could go to the whole like Obsidian route. Like I love Outer Worlds. I love
Worlds
Fallout
so
New
good.
Vegas. So
Yeah.
Fallout 3, obviously not Obsidian, but like there's just so many. Like I don't discriminate against anybody. Like I don't discriminate against any developer and stuff. But like yeah, I'm probably really impartial to those early EA developers because they've really opened up their hearts to me and just given me so many opportunities to just pick their brains. So I can't imagine playing video games and not playing a hockey game. So it's like, and I can't ever like imagine playing video games and not wanting to play an RPG of some sort. So it's just like, yeah, EA and Squaresoft. Wow. Yeah.
Yeah, man. Hey, you know what? Those are the greats. EA back in its heyday. Like even now, EA Originals, they just teamed up with. I don't think they get enough credit. They teamed up with Koei Tecmo to release Wild Hearts. You know what I'm saying? Like people like to hate on EA, but EA, man, they set the bar for a lot of games and a lot of practices in gaming that people might not look on too favorably, but there's a lot of them that are looked upon favorably. The industry wouldn't be what it is without a company like EA. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, it's so easy to talk about like microtransactions and this and that and the other thing, but it's just like back in the day, like when I was a little kid, you would have to wait like 2 or 3 years for like an updated baseball game to come out or an updated hockey game or even like an updated wrestling game, and now it's like
seriously,
they just sped up the development process. Same thing too now, like with RPGs. I mean, now you get like a new Final Fantasy like every 3 years, when like back in the day it might have taken like 4 or 5, so it's like EA really like forced the video game industry to move forward and to really make this something more than like kid shit, because I mean, so many people for so long thought of video games as like kid stuff, and like EA, Squaresoft, I mean, Interplay, LucasArts. I mean, there's so many great companies out there that were just like, yeah, man, like Maniac Mansion, Leisure Suit Larry. These guys, like they made games that like adults wanted to play, and they changed the industry forever. So those are the developers that I love.
I love those developers too. I will never ever forget Super Mario RPG, my first RPG. Played it as a child. Squaresoft, never forget the logo coming up. You know what I mean? We'll never forget the first. I'll never forget the first MLB game I ever played. I was a huge seasonal MLB. I loved not MLB so much. I liked NHL and I liked NFL and I liked Fight Night. Those are all amazing EA games. Man, so many great games from Obsidian. What Obsidian game do I not play? I play so many. Yeah, like I could even streamline it further. What Chris Avalone game do I not play? You know what I mean? Like it's one of those things. Like, what about you, Drix? How about you? Like, what you love in the EA, any era of EA, any Obsidian sweet stuff, RPGs? I know you love your JRPGs.
Yeah, no, I'm mostly like the Squaresoft weeb. Yeah, I still have like a bucket list of RPGs that I'd like to beat before I die. But yeah, mostly for the Super Nintendo. My top 3, like if something happened to me tomorrow, I would regret not beating like Earthbound, Chrono Trigger, and Super Mario RPG. I still got to get through, but we might have a nice remake of that.
The remake.
Ooh, that's something we're still excited about. But,
yeah, man.
Yeah.
So Drix, what are we jamming to? We gotta listen to some music, bro.
This one goes out to our brother Pat from New York City. This is Jazzy NYC 99, subway station from Street Fighter Third Strike.
One of my favorites. Street Fighter Third Strike, Jazzy New CFM Radio, we are here. CFM Radio, that's Man with the Machine Gun, and we have been with Patrick Hickey Jr., Minds Behind the Games, Legacy Comics, voice actor of over 90 characters in the upcoming WrestleQuest on everything, including Netflix, August 8th. Patrick, is there anyone you want to shout out, anything you want to say before we exit tonight on CFM Radio?
Yeah, I just want to say that I'm super excited for August 8th. I think WrestleQuest is going to be an amazing experience that so many people are gonna want to get behind. And like I said before, we've got some crazy stuff coming from Legacy Comics, from the second issue of The Job to 4 great comics for Halloween. The Minds Behind the Games books, we've had 3 released in the last 12 months. So there's tons of great stuff. If you've never read any of my stuff before, I'm just a Google search away. Video games, comics. I write about wrestling every day on ReviewFix.com. I review music. There's a ton of ways to interact with me. I'm super easygoing. You can reach me on Instagram too, and just talk pop culture and have fun. That's what it's about. That's why I do all this stuff.
That's why all of us do what we do. Drix, anything you want to say before we head out?
Man, just thanks again, Pat, for coming out. It's been such a great time. We'll make for a great show this evening. It's a pleasure to finally hang out and chat via voice chat anyway. But yeah, thanks for taking the time, dude. And we'll get this up and out and around on the internet and get the word out about WrestleQuest and all the other.
Sounds great. And thank you, of course, beautiful viewers,